Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1644. It's Friday. It's Mike Matthews here at Castro Valley and Café Anyway, located somewhere there upon Castro Valley, Mont. The last place on earth today to Disgruntled Fiddle Player, Benita, the Brewmaster. And don't you love if you work in an industry? Well, we basically all work in an industry that has some kind of
Mike's Daily Podcast
customer that we have to appease. And it's always so funny when they get
Mike's Daily Podcast,
when they get agitated over something and it gets back to you that has something to do with what you do, and you have to go, wait, what? Really? No, I never make that mistake. Let me look at that. Oh, I didn't make that mistake. It's the
Mike's Daily Podcast
customer complaining about absolutely nothing. Don't you love that? Oh, by the way, I fixed Mike's Daily Podcast.com.
Daily.
There was an issue
Podcast
with some bad script on the right-hand side, and I cleaned it all up. And it was this service that WordPress gives you called Jetpack. Jetpack was making a mistake. I don't like Jetpack too much, but that's neither here nor there anywhere. And hey, I've been uploading videos of my podcast, which doesn't show me talking because that would be boring as hell. Although people are walking in right now. Look at them walking in and saying hi. Hi, Mike. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How you doing?
Awesome. And it's a Disgruntled Fiddle Player. Tell you what.
What?
Yeah, I think people should just shut up.
Exactly. That's just all that we're saying is people shut up. That's it.
I like the way you say that.
Look who else walked in.
Hello, Mike. I make the delicious root beer house right now. Oh, boy.
Thank you, Brewmaster. So delicious, this root beer. You might ask, Mike, why don't you serve something other than root beer? We have Mike Espressos here. Mikeachinos. Mike thing. Everything has a mic in it. Oh, a Matthews Chino is what it's called. Yes. It's something with blended and Java chip.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Wait, that's a Starbucks thing. I don't know. Cafe, I don't know. I mean, cafe. Anyway. What else here? We have someone that the Think Uns. Thick Uns. I always call them the Think Uns, but the band the Thick Uns liked another tweet that I just did. And you can follow my Twitter at Mike's Daily Podcast. Or, I'm sorry, at Mike Talks. I would like to tell you really quickly that the podcast picture is of me because this show is about me, and it always has been. And there's a...
This show is about me, and it always has been.
You do it so much better than I. And yes, this picture was taken on Wednesday, actually. Wednesday, I took Basil the Boxer on a nice little walk over at the area, not at Fairmont Ridge in Castro Valley, San Leandro, but at right across the way from Fairmont Ridge, there's this big open space. And there are cows there, and there weren't any cows this time, but I've seen some full cows. And from time to time, I like to post a picture of myself because this show has my name on it and all that. And there I am from just a couple days ago. So you can see that at mikesdailypodcast.com in this beautiful pastoral scene. And behind me, I think off in the distance, is the Mount Diablo. Diablo! I think is how you're supposed to say that word. And, oh, it was so funny. So I went to my lovely lady friend yesterday, and they've got in Castro Valley the sheep and goats eating the hillside. It's a weed abatement program. And, oh, yes, the picture does... No, you can't see Mount Diablo. Very faintly, way behind my head, there's Mount Diablo. But it's mostly... There's all these cool little burgundy... And yes, I'm burgundy.
I have many leather-bound books, and my apartment smells of rich mahogany.
Not that burgundy. But yeah, there's all these burgundy-looking wildflowers growing in Castro Valley. San Leandro on the hillside there. East Bay Regional Park District owns it. And it's free. You can have your dog off leash in this particular area. Don't let anyone tell you different. Don't let any... let's see. What's an appropriate way to refer to these policemen that gave me a ticket? Oh, what's it now? Almost 5 years ago. Let's see. They were whole policemen by the names of... Oh, I always forget their names. I have it written down somewhere. There we go. Michael Hall and John Silveria. Michael Hall and John Silveria. Not the best policemen, I must say. And I don't know if they still do it, but they patrol the East Bay Regional Parks. And they give you tickets for the most outlandish things. And it's just ridiculous. I had to pay almost $300 because I had Basil, the boxer, off leash. And there were signs that said I could have my dog off leash. And I proved my point to the judge. And the only reason why I got the ticket, which you have to, if you want to contest it, you have to pay the ticket beforehand, which is ridiculous. That's got to be illegal in some way. It's awful California law. And the whole, got me so... And I was the first person to get up. Everybody else is there contesting, going through red light tickets, moving violations, etc. And I get up there and I prove my point. And I've got all these pictures I printed out with my own printer. And I gave them to the judge. And the judge even agreed I did a good job pleading my case. But he said because I put Basil the boxer on the leash when I saw the policeman... That was an admission of guilt. Now, I don't know if there are any lawyers. I don't know if there are any lawyers listening right now. But I am not a lawyer in any way. That sounds so fishy. That sounds just incredibly... Ugh. What I should have is the judge's name. And I've forgotten... I have it somewhere. That judge was... evil to the core. Not as evil as that Stanford judge who thankfully got voted out. They recalled him. He's gone because he gave that rapist a light sentence. That white privileged idiot. So he's gone. That judge that gave him such a light punishment. So now we are on to back to Basil walking that hillside, and that's so lovely. It was such a nice day, and you can see that picture at mikesdailypodcast.com. The beautiful hillside with the burgundy, wildflowers everywhere, and they're not only burgundy, but they're also this beautiful purple everywhere. And I don't know how long that's going to last. I know it's sort of caused by our low inversion layer going on, all the clouds we have, which is going to end at the beginning of next week. It's going to get hot again in the 90s through midweek. And Greta Bronner is on C-SPAN again. The only woman I ever see on C-SPAN as a news host person. But the point is that my lovely lady friend was talking to the shepherd there who has all the goats and sheep that do the weed abatement in Castro Valley. And he, a very nice guy. I've met him before, but he doesn't speak a whole lot of English. And my lovely lady friend speaks fluent Spanish and was able to speak with him. And I found out that his two dogs that he has, these wonderful border collies, that they are like, one is the grandfather and is teaching the granddaughter all about the ways of how to sheep herd the goats and the sheep. And he says, I'm like seeing them teach each other. Or the grandfather teaching the... It's amazing. Dogs are amazing. Border Collies particularly smart, those dogs. So, the sad news today, if you've probably already heard it by now, but I've got this news, it was breaking news as I was driving into work, that Anthony Bourdain took his life at 61. Let's see, we have... Okay, I don't have... Well, the Hollywood Reporter posted a tweet about it and mentioned the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, 1-800-273-8255. And he apparently died in a French hotel room, and that the cause was suicide. Rolling Stone mentions that Anthony Bourdain shared his favorite songs from Roxy Music to Marvin Gaye, and I love both those artists a lot, so it's sad. I liked Anthony Bourdain a lot. I watched the No Reservations, the Layover show was great, and then Parts Unknown, and he got to really show his stuff on Parts Unknown and got into some dicey situations. One of them being getting a shave, one of those close razor shaves, somewhere, I forget where he was, in like South America or something. And the guy who was giving him the close shave was very nervous. And Anthony Bourdain is like, oh my gosh, this guy's gonna accidentally slit my throat. He's got this sharp thing, and it was a great scene. Anthony Bourdain survived it. The guy actually admitted to being nervous. And, well, anyway, it's very sad news about Anthony Bourdain. I loved his show. One of my favorites, I was sharing it with my lady friend the other day. Just one of my favorites is when it's on Parts Unknown, when he goes to Ontario, Canada, and he goes to this special restaurant where maple syrup is like in every dish, and they bring out all these amazing dishes, and just the food he ate in Canada was just amazing. I watched that show several times, and he goes ice fishing with some friends, and they're eating wonderfully in this tiny little cabin on the lake, on the ice. So I don't know, maybe there'll be more information as to why he took his own life and why that happened, because that's just befuddling to me, and I'm very saddened to hear that news, because I really enjoyed his stuff, and anytime he talked, fascinating news. I have complained in the past on my podcast about he and other people that show you like delicious destinations, and Andrew Zimmern, about when they go and they eat in these places around the world, they always eat what basically amounts to meat. They never eat any vegetables, and they never seem to eat well. I mean, they eat well, but they're not eating. You can't eat that much protein. They never talk about, we ate a delicious carrot. We had some really good cabbage. It's always, we ate a pig's nose or a cow's heart or some crazy thing. So that's sad news that came out today. Somebody that I work with is not a huge, let's say he doesn't know that much about the world of Avengers and comic books. And he saw the end of that Avengers movie and said, can someone explain the freaking ending to Avengers Infinity War to me, please? To my defense, I haven't seen any of the other Marvel movies with the exception of Wonder Woman and Thor Ragnarok. So I don't know if they tie in with this one. So a friend of his lets him know, and I guess this friend of his used to own a comic book store or something. And he tells him, okay, one of the posts he writes is, sigh, Wonder Woman is not a Marvel character. And then this guy I work with says, yeah, I thought this would pretty much haunt me. And then he's explained to it's very funny, this thread that I read. And oh my gosh, he got so many people to comment. And this one guy tells him, just watch the first Iron Man movie, then get back to me. Pretty sure it's still on Netflix. Watch it all the way through the credits. You will do this with every Marvel movie. And the guy I work with says, so the first Iron Man sets up all the ones that follow up to this one? And he goes, yep, get back to me when you are done, and I'll let you know the next one to watch. You have some catching up to do. And the guy responds, gotcha, damn, I'm going to have to do this when there aren't any sports on, as this sounds like a marathon of movies to watch. And then his friend goes, I kind of envy you. Why so? They're fun movies, not just comic book movies. They're just a lot of fun, and the world building has been pretty cool to watch. Most of us had to wait 10 years for this. Basically what Star Wars was to us, these movies are to the kids these days. And the guy responds, what was the redheaded girl's character's name? Vision's girlfriend. She was my favorite. And if he's talking about Scarlet Witch. Yeah, now you know why she's my fave. Definitely got the acting skills, and looks her twin sisters never did. Talking about that's one of the Olsen twins sisters people. Okay, I found it amusing. As I'm reading this now, I'm going, oh, I guess I can't really convey this in the way that it read to me as I was reading it on Facebook, but oh well. Microsoft now has these underwater servers. This blows my mind. They had one off the coast of Central California, and it ran for a couple days. What exactly is the purpose for this? Massive servers underwater. I guess the point being servers get hot and the water cools them down. So hardcore environmentalists might have issues with this, saying, hey, you're warming up the water unnecessarily. You're causing plants and fish to die. I don't know. But the point is, sometimes I think I'm really not that liberal. Especially when I hear from anybody on the show, Young Turks. When any of them talk, I go, oh my God, you cannot be that. That is crazy liberal. First off, why are they called the Young Turks? Is it because of the Rod Stewart song? Young hearts be free tonight. What is the point of that? Young Turks. And then they say things that I thought I was liberal, and then I go, wait a minute. Because the end point of all of their arguments ends up in a world where none of you have money, where you've given it all away to the people that don't have money. So now you don't have money, and there are no haves and have-nots anymore because everyone's a have-not. Oh, but wait. It's the human condition to want to have something. It's called the competition theory, survival of the fittest, and all that crap. So, in essence, you end up with Russia, where there was a leader with a bunch of crap. And the people that had nothing, and then they got mad, and they're like, hey, this is ridiculous, and now you've got Putin. And then you've got our leader who says it's better to get along with Russia than not.
I say it's better to get along with Russia than not.
So I guess what I'm saying is Young Turks irks me. But whatever, you must love it. Or you might love it. But I do have a liberal, label on this podcast. So maybe you also listen to their podcast. Whatever, that's fine. I just find them, the logic they use, I don't get that. But I do get that my show is just about done, and I have to go outside a Café Anyway. We're bringing you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Castro Valley. I will try and bring you a super secret Sunday show. We'll see if that happens. And we'll see. I guess McDonald's laid off a bunch of people. And I guess 600 homes were destroyed. That Kilauea volcano still rumbling away. What I like to do sometimes is listen to the NPR station out of Hawaii and hear what they have to say from a local angle. And any other no other news at this point about Anthony Bourdain. And so, okay, 61, very sad. Okay, well, not ending the show on a high point, I'm sorry, but next show we will have Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley. Oh, the Gradlock, that's good news. Okay, so Gradlock, yesterday, virtually non-existent. I couldn't believe it. I told my Google Maps to get me home. And it did it in record time, going up Mission Boulevard, which Mission Boulevard in the middle of the afternoon is usually crazy busy. It usually takes at least 15 minutes longer. No! It was shorter than the freeways. So, there you go. I was very impressed. The grad lock laid off for a day. Although there were all these graduations. I know Castro Valley High School had their big ceremony last night, which was a little too painful for my dog's ears. With all the high-pitched air horns going off. He did not like that. But congratulations to my next-door neighbors, who their twins graduated yesterday. Yay for them. And yay for you if you have any kids that are graduating. High school, college, kindergarten, junior high, whatever. Or to you, maybe you're graduating from night school, whatever. Cafe, whatever.
Anyway.
Oh, yeah, it's Cafe Anyway.
Anyway.
So that was... and there's going to be a bunch of graduation parties over the weekend and more graduation ceremonies, so I celebrate all of you who have graduated. This bud's for you. And now, as I obviously need one last root beer to get me through the end of the podcast outside here of Cafe Anyway. Oh, so frothy. So delicious. Enjoy your weekend. Oh, and happy Father's Day. Oh, wait, that's not this weekend. Okay, that's coming up soon, though. All right, yeah. So, celebrate the grads. Woo, and happy weekend.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!